What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Rewind, the Smacked Raw show where myself and RN run down some of the hottest topics that have been taking place in this last week in the world of professional wrestling. One half of your host, my name's Kyle Tyson.
And I am RN, aka hashtag mute RN, aka I'm just RN today, I guess. Yeah.
I didn't interrupt you that time.
We'll get back. We'll get it together.
I like keeping you on your toes, whether or not I'm going to introduce you or leave it to you.
That is a running gag on the show, and I am here for it.
Yeah, if you guys go back on YouTube and check out our intros to this show, you will see that it is the least smooth thing that we have going on here. By the way, if you're new to the show, like I said in the intro, this used to be a recap show. We've done away with the recap format. RN and I, our passion is opinion pieces. We like to go over some of the hot button topics, that's usually going on around pro wrestling, primarily AEW and WWE, and give our takes on it. So tonight lined up, we got quite a show ahead for you. We're going to tackle the topic that's making waves the last 2 days. Has Adam Cole truly downgraded by going to AEW? We cover there's a new number one contender to Roman Reigns and give our opinion on the SmackDown current main event scene and is it in trouble? We're going to cover who we think might be the next breakout star in WWE. We have a pinned tweet on our Twitter where we asked if you guys consider NXT dead. And so we'll read your guys' takes on that and then give our own. We have our promo of the week, match of the week, and introducing what we're going to kick off tonight with shortly. The indie clip of the week. We've been wanting to get more on the independent side of things, and so there's usually some hot indie clips that are always floating around Twitter, and we said, you know what? Why not use our show as a platform for that? And so came across one today. I'll go ahead and share that with you guys in a little bit. And then lastly, we have War Games. We're going to talk about the current teams and the hype surrounding War Games in general. So that's what we got lined up today, man. I am stoked. Before we get to it, RN, you and I usually talk about some bullshit for a minute or two. Didn't you say you played Borderlands 3?
Yes. That's probably my favorite shooting game all time, like legit.
Yeah, what are you playing on, by the way?
Xbox One.
Sick, man. All right, so you and I need to link up. It was my only Black Friday purchase I made for myself. Saw that junk on sale for $15. Nabbed it up. Nabbed it for $15, man. I got that junk. I just started playing today, and it turns out it's cross-platform.
I think I got it when I got it, like maybe about a year or two ago. I rebought it, and it was like $25, and I got all the download content and shit with it too. Like, so it was like 3 or 4 different games plus all the DLCs for the original game in it, because I got like the I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 different other games in it plus the DLC stuff. So I'm like, there's still shit on it I haven't even done yet because it was so much content I wasn't prepared for. So
nice.
No, that's my shit.
No, I'm excited to play it. I'm actually, depending on how wore out I get from tonight's show, I actually might end up playing that right after the show and maybe even stream it to Twitch. I was streaming last night, by the way. Shout out to you know what? I should have had her tag ready. I want to shout out to like one of our friends of the show, JJ. On Twitter, you can find her at JJ_Ren. That's RENN, 2 N's. Give her a follow, especially if you're in the world of being like a wrestling content creator. I don't know how she finds time in the day to support so many wrestling shows. She, I think, was simultaneously watching my stream last night on our Twitch channel and EP Wrestling's Twitch stream, and she was like literally telling us what we were doing. JJ is going through kind of a difficult time. I don't want to get into specifics. If you go to her Twitch page, you'll see what she's going through. And honestly, a wonderful person, deserves all the love in the world. Give that girl a follow and maybe a shout out. Too Sweet Pod asks if either of us play Apex. I played it when it first came out. I have yet to go back and see like everything that they've done with the game.
I've never, like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a gamer in any way, shape, or fucking form. So like, all these popular games that people have and played and stuff, never even looked at one time. So, Like only games I really play are sports games and Borderlands.
Nice.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I play. Honestly, I have a couple that I go to. Like I said, I've been playing. I've been playing Halo Online. That's been a lot of fun.
yeah.
I've been playing Forza.
I was gonna say Adam plays that. That's probably the only game he actually plays, and he's there. Him and his crew, they're fucking obsessed with it, with Halo. Him and his brothers and everybody.
Yeah. I've been playing Forza. I mean, I got this little indie game called Lonely Mountains Downhill. It's a little mountain biking game. It's hard to make it sound cool, but it's awesome. Yeah, and then Kyle says from Apron Bump says, hop on Call of Duty Warzone with me. Hell yeah, man! I still have that shit on my computer somewhere, I think. Jump in Warzone. That's what they say. Yeah. Really quick, once again, before we hop into today's official show, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitch. The very next Twitch follower we receive will be our 100th follower. We're very excited. Go ahead, hit that follow button if you haven't already. If you can't catch the shows live, you can always head on over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SmackedRawPodcast. Hit the like and subscribe button over there. We're on the road to 400 subscribers on YouTube. And then, of course, everywhere else, we have the audio version. We're on everything at this point. Spotify,
Right.
iHeartRadio. I don't know what you do with those audio ones. I guess you just like leave a rating and review is what I hear other podcasters say. So, yeah. Go ahead and do that for us too, man.
That's honestly how I do our show. Like I listen to it on Spotify. Like I need to start watching the videos too, but for the most part, I listen to it on Spotify. Like when I'm getting dressed or like on my lunch break or something like that, I'll listen to it on there.
Nice, man. Yeah, we really appreciate all your guys' support and love for the show. We have a Patreon as well and PayPal if you ever want to support the show financially. There's some rewards to it. You know what? I'm not gonna bog you down telling you everything you'll get for your money. You know how that stuff works. And if you ever want to go above and beyond, man, we would be super appreciative there as well.
And also with those funds, don't forget we don't go and fucking buy bottles and shit with that stuff. We put it back in to the show to make the show a better product for you guys to watch and listen to. So
yeah, man,
keep that in mind if you want to throw something.
Straight into the production. You see this light over here? This light right here? Your guys' Patreon funds did that because YouTube said that people like changing color lights in the background of streams. So that's where it goes to for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Hey, RN. Hey, let's kick the show off with the new segment, Indie Clip of the Week. Let me set up the premise. You've had a chance to watch it?
Yes, man. Why are you trying to make me cry as soon as the fucking show
melted
started?
my heart.
Oh,
man.
that shit gave me a toothache. It was so sweet, bro.
Yeah. So let me set this up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys if you haven't seen this already. Forgive me if I don't have these guys' names down yet. I haven't had the most time to research them. I went over to their Twitter pages. I'm gonna go ahead and read off their Twitter handles, and then I'll also include it in the description of the show as well. If you're watching this on YouTube. So we have a clip here of tDieMiles, who is on Twitter at tDieMiles, taking on the Samoan Hellraiser Tupu at Solomon Tupu on Twitter. From New Wave Pro Wrestling on Twitter at newwave_pro. The fan that uploaded this clip is on Twitter at JTheFan. That is just the letter J, the fan 317. It's a clip of a very young fan reaching out to Miles, trying to inspire him to get up. And yeah, you guys watch it for yourself. This is some fantastic stuff. It's about 1.5 minutes long.
Is he the best? Is he the best?
Yes, he's the best!
Really the best?
Yes,
I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you, kids. I'm just so much better. Is he the best?
him. He can do it.
You can do it! You can do this, smile!
All right, that was, dude. Talk about some heartwarming stuff.
That I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not just saying this just to be like fucking funny or like that video is like reaffirmed my love for wrestling. Like that, I was that kid. Like, except it was for Triple H and he was a bad guy busting people open. But besides that, like that is wrestling. That's what professional wrestling is. Like at its fucking purest form. Like that shit touched me like ridiculously. No, pause. There's a little boy in the video, but yeah, no, that's wrestling. Like that's what wrestling is supposed to do.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a mushy dude, so me saying something gets me a little teary eyed. It doesn't really say much, but man, there's just something about the innocence of kids. They're very sincere, both in the nice things that they say and the not so nice things. So when you see a kid that passionate, it's a very pure thing, and then it kind of also reminds you that pro wrestling is for kids too. Oh man, I love it. I do love it, and hopefully you guys get to enjoy that. On Twitter, like I said, follow these guys at Don't Die Miles, at Solomon Tupu. Follow the wrestling promotion at New Wave _pro, and then of course thank you for the clip at JTheFan317. Give all of them follows. I went ahead, I did immediately afterwards, and then if you guys ever have any indie clips that you want to share with us to possibly get on the show, go ahead and DM to us or tag us in the clips at Smacked Raw Pod. And maybe we'll be able to get your clip on the air as well.
Yeah, support your local indie wrestling. Like I do that. Like I go to shows where there's only 12 of us, to shows where there's 1,500 people. But I genuinely love wrestling. I love indie wrestling, like because you never know who you're gonna see. Like a lot of guys, like the Rascals, the Chris Brothers, all these guys. Like I went to their promotion once or twice a month, and now all these dudes are on WWE or Impact or something, like they're on the national stage now, and I got to see them in their home promotions where they started. So it's like that's one of the most awesome feelings ever, seeing a wrestler's career progression and you being there damn near every step of the way. So like support local indie wrestling for sure.
Hell yes. All right, let's transition from the feel good moment of the day to something that's got the internet community, like as we speak, fighting pretty hard, I've noticed on Twitter, and that's the argument has Adam Cole downgraded by going to AEW? This man who's had an incredible legacy in NXT, essentially put the promotion on his back for all of 2019, the entire year. This guy who accomplished everything there was to accomplish in the promotion as a single star, as part of the faction Undisputed Era. He has gone over to AEW. Since then, he has joined up with the Super Click faction, the Elite, and he's been embroiled in the Young Bucks feuds. He just had a match facing off against Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy. RN, is this a downgrade, or is this a man pursuing what makes him happy?
I'm going to say something. A lot of people are probably going to get mad at me because it's not the usual mute RN shit to shit on AEW. But my thing is, like, you've seen everything that's happened in the last few weeks. Do we really think if he had took that WWE deal that he wouldn't be a part of those cuts?
Man, I'm going to say it right now. I won't mix any thoughts. Dude, the moment he went up to main roster, it was a wrap for him. That dude was not going to break the glass ceiling on main roster. He was not.
So that's what I'm saying. So how is it a downgrade where he may have been fucking unemployed?
Yeah, it could have easily been cut. I mean, Keith Lee's cut.
Right.
The rumor was he was going to be a talking point. Like he was going to be Keith Lee's manager
or some shit.
His fucking mouthpiece.
Which makes no fucking sense. So like I said, like normally I know everybody would expect me to be the one to shit on AEW and they're used to him, but first of all, he may not have had a job at all if he had stayed with WWE. That's one. Two, their fucking main event scene is ridiculously huge, and we never saw him. Yes, we saw him on NXT as the main event guy and the main player, but as much as anyone wants to say it's not, NXT was still developmental, It wasn't the same thing as being in front of 100,000 fans and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like we never got to see him at that top level. Even though we know he can. Like me personally, y'all know how I feel about Adam Cole. That's my guy.
Yeah.
But my thing is like being on TV and being on your couch. I take being on TV every fucking day than sitting on my couch for 90 days until I can compete again. So to me, I guess on the surface it looks like a downgrade, but having a job and not having a job, that's how I look at it.
Not only that, I mean, you got to look at all the other factors outside of just the promotion. He is with his best friends. He's going to work with his best friends, his wife or his girlfriend. I don't think they're married.
Well, fiance or whatever.
Yeah. He doesn't have to deal with all of that Twitch bullshit where he's got to hand the rights of his Twitch streaming over to WWE.
I think he was making almost close to 100,000 a year off of his Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know how much. Right. Yeah, I don't know how much he was making.
They said it was 6 figures. So,
but at the end of the day, it's also a passion project of his. It's something that he helped cultivate and grow on his own, and then to take something and for somebody to forcefully come in and say, "Oh, that creation that you made that we had no part in building, yeah, that's ours. That belongs to us." If that isn't one of the most like downright violations of like how like you feel as a man or just as a human being, for somebody to come in and just say, yeah, that's mine now, you know,
right,
that it can't feel good. Like there's no way any of those wrestlers that are streaming and we're doing cameo for WWE just to stroll in and say, hey, that belongs to us now. Nobody came out of that feeling better giving that over to WWE.
And another thing, too, is if you know Adam Cole like I do, which most people probably don't keep up with him as closely as I do and love him like I do, but his ultimate dream was to make it to WWE, to wrestle on Raw, to wrestle on SmackDown, to main event WrestleMania. He's made no bones about it. I know people give him shit about it, all those being on those WWE documentaries, but that's him in real life. Like, he really felt that type of way. So for him to turn down a deal to do the thing he loved the most and like his number one dreams as a child, to turn down a chance to do that, that should tell you about where he thought the direction would go for his career if he had took that damn contract. Money aside, or whatever ridiculous amount they're going to throw at him, because now they're like the NFL. They'll promise you one thing and then fucking cut you 8 months later and you don't get any of it anyway. So like that's the part I always looked at. It wasn't so much that he went to AEW, it's that he went anywhere else. It could have been anywhere else. He just didn't go back to WWE. So that's the part that was always like a huge fucking red flag for me, is all the things he's wanted to do, he had an opportunity to do, but he knew he probably wasn't going to get an opportunity to do any of those things. So he said, I'm out.
With that being said, Supersonic 1991, this guy on Twitter supports so many Twitter accounts, content creators. He's all the time shouting us out. First time viewing the show. Thank you, man. He says, how are we doing? I'm doing fantastic. And you know what?
Appreciate the support.
Yeah, we're going to do even better. Supersonics, hit that follow button on our Twitch show right now, and you will be our 100th Twitch follower. Make it happen, my friend. That prestigious honor belongs to you, rightfully so. Follow us right now, my friend. Gearing back, yeah, I mean, no, that's pretty much it. I don't see it as a downgrade. I get like how people are constructing their arguments, but they're not really valid. People are also comparing his NXT run to his AEW run, and they're calling that WWE. No, my friend, the black and gold NXT is not a representation of WWE. It
doesn't even exist anymore.
That argument is dropped. Right,
that's a defunct promotion.
Yes,
the promotion doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's talk about actually something that did happen in WWE. We just had the Black Friday Battle Royal for the number one contender spot in SmackDown. Ultimately, it was won by Jeff Hardy, or at least it looked like it was, till Sami Zayn pulled the trope of he was hiding the whole time. he ended up winning. Sami Zayn is technically the number one contender. However, there was a swerve at the end. Kayla Braxton interrupted his celebration and announced that Brock Lesnar is no longer indefinitely suspended. So I think that he's just regular suspended now. But either way, he will be returning to SmackDown next week. One thing about this RN that I noticed is when I was looking at that Battle Royal, not a lot of people, not a lot of guys looking like they stack up to be like a legitimate threat to Roman or even close to his star power. Arguably, the only people on SmackDown that I can think of weren't even in the Battle Royal, and that would be King Woods and Drew McIntyre.
Right.
And of course, you got Brock. Brock's always Brock, but
or
yeah.
Maybe if they had a faction with 3 people in it and a big guy that could talk on the mic and 2 extremely talented wrestlers that could go against the Usos.
Yeah,
that might have been a smart way to go, maybe.
Yeah, if only they had a faction.
If only they had that. Yeah.
Man, my gosh. What do you think about what do you think about Sami Zayn's role? I already see people like say
he's not gonna keep it. Like, that's the thing. Like, if he keeps it, I'm down for it because it'll bring a different element to Roman because all his shit's so serious and like murder shit. And then you got this dude talking about conspiracies and shit and everything. So like I honestly can't wait to see them 2 interact and see if he can get fucking Roman to pop with that shit because it's hilarious. But I just don't see it. Like, you saw how they did after he won, how they fucking completely shit on him doing the announcement for Brock. Like, there's no way he's keeping this title shot.
I think he will. I think he will keep the title shot. I think they'll make it a triple threat, and Sammy's the one eating the pin.
Absolutely.
So they can protect
the laziest
Brock and Roman. That's my theory.
I hope he keeps it. Like, no, I want to see them because it's not like
Dude, I'd love to see Sami haluva kick Brock Lesnar in the.
Right.
Could you imagine Sami haluva kicking Brock Lesnar?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he can fucking go. There's nobody he can't have a good match with. We just never get to see him wrestle because he's always doing dumb shit and comedy shit. But people forget, like, he had probably one of the bloodiest, most ridiculous feuds ever with Kevin Owens on the indie scenes. Like, together against each other and in tag team wars versus the Briscoes and shit. Like, he can go. We just never get that side of him that in WWE for some reason, which I don't fucking understand. But I think it would be a banging ass fucking match if it ever gets there, honestly.
What and this is to the chat and you, RN. What's your favorite Sami Zayn WWE match? I can't say match like with the promotion because you're just gonna say Shinsuke Nakamura NXT. That's gonna win every time. So we'll skip that one because that's the obvious statement. What's your favorite Sami Zayn match on the main roster?
I want to say it was him and Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan was a heel.
Yeah, I think they had a good one.
It's the last one I can really remember.
Mine was there was a fatal 4-way match. I forget at what pay-per-view. But it was him, Kevin Owens, The Miz, and Cesaro, I want to say. And
sounds right.
Right when the bell rang, Sami Zayn haluva kicked Kevin Owens just right out the gate. It was a fatal 4-way. Just they were on opposite corners. He haluva kicked him, and then just the dumbfounded look on the Miz's face when they panned to him and the crowd and everything. Because this was at the part of the apex of their main roster feud.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was such a good match. And afterwards, they went on to have an incredible fatal 4-way match. If you guys know in the chat, let me know because I actually want to watch it again, but I'm too lazy to do the research. Kyle from the Apron Bump, he says the triple threat ladder match at Clash of Champions with Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles. Yeah, actually, that was a really good match.
Damn, I forgot about that one.
He like handcuffed Jeff Hardy's earlobe to the fucking ladder, man. God damn, that was such a good one. And then, him and Kevin Owens have had like a dozen bangers too. Yeah, they all blend together, don't they? Oh, man. But, yeah, so with that being said, RN, let me just ask you the main question. Yeah. Is the main event scene on SmackDown in trouble? Because in my mind, it's Roman, Drew, Woods because he won King of the Ring, but it's still hard to consider Woods a main eventer. although I
Right.
love the man.
He's never been in a main event.
Yeah.
When's he been in a main event?
Well, he got to main event SmackDown, and fight Roman.
Yeah, that's one time.
Yeah, and then of course Brock. It's
My thing is like the cuts didn't help him out for one. For two, how they drafted the rosters, how they always do. They always fucking stack Raw and give Raw as much talent as they can, and then leave SmackDown fucking grasping for straws. And then for two, like after Drew, who is it? Like,
Yeah.
they've shown numerous times they don't have any skills.
They should have kept
on
Seth.
developing new stars.
They should have kept Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins' flamboyant, like boisterous attitude would complement Roman's like serious style, I think, really well.
Right.
I really think they should have kept Seth, and that would kind of keep their main event scene like a little bit more open. But we'll have to see, man, because what do you say? Balor was it, but they decided to blow that feud. Yeah, no, truly, yeah. Balor was in and out in a hiccup. You famously went on your RN, your mute RN rant about heels and faces, talking about
Right.
Cena being a heel, stealing that match away from him.
Yeah.
Kyle says, if only there was a brand designed to develop talent for the main roster. Yeah.
Is
No,
that the new
I think
Randy
it is,
Orton?
man, because I just wonder how long you can stretch out Brock, Sami, Drew. I mean, you probably can get to maybe Mania with that. Afterwards, man, you're gonna run everything dry. And I don't honestly, I don't see Roman dropping that belt.
Yeah.
Jesus,
I just hope that
for like
Corbin's
another year.
their only chance. Corbin, as much as people hate it, like who else is it going to be?
Dude, yeah, but just like I was there live, and I'm still scarred from the dog food, the dumping of dog food on Roman. I was at that show. Yeah, that was the last SmackDown show I went to, like willingly. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Let's hit up. I don't really have these in any particular order.
No, just shoot them off. Right.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and cut to our promo and match of the week. Let's do a promo of the week. Get that out of the way, so for all of you that don't know, the way we're going to do this is RN is going to independently pick his promo and match of the week. Then I will also pick mine. We'll go ahead and discuss them on air. If we have a difference of opinion, we'll debate it on why we're right and the other person is wrong. And with that being said, I have here the promo of the week. Let's knock this out. There's no way you and I are disagreeing on this one.
No.
Promo of the week is easily, hands down, MJF, CM Punk. 20 minutes of just complete fire.
Fucking tennis match. Just
Highlights. Obviously, CM Punk referring to MJF as the the less famous Miz.
Shit.
Yes, sir. And also threatening to punch him in his needle dick. It was some fire stuff. What was some stuff that MJF came off with?
Said that he's turning into Cena or whatever, except I can see you, old man, or some shit like that.
Said he's the PG Punk.
PG
yeah,
Punk,
and he's himself. He's Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect. Dude, he hit him with he hit on the fact that CM Punk is scared because he's always wanted to be the main guy, but he was always second, whether it was to Mr. You Can't See Me, or the King of Kings. But now that he is the main guy, that he might not live up to it. There was some truth in there. And
on both ends.
On both ends. And some well-needed stuff to be said about Punk with that 7-year absence that needed to be aired out. And yeah, man, dude, you don't even have to watch Dynamite if you don't want to. I mean, it was a fantastic show, but watch that opening 20 minutes of that promo battle. It is, dude, my jaw dropped when he name dropped the Miz.
Yeah,
I was like, because that's I think the first time they've ever referred to a talent or the promotion by its actual name instead of like a subtle jab. But it was fantastic, man. Let's head on over to match of the week. Who you got, RN?
I got Big E versus my boy Austin Theory.
Big E versus Austin Theory. Damn, I don't even remember that match.
Well, it was on Raw. You probably didn't watch it too.
I was probably looking at my phone, man. I'm sorry. Look, okay. Well, I'm gonna counter that with Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter.
That was my number 2.
That was your number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look. Okay, so the reason why Thunder Rosa, Jamie Hayter, I think deserves the win is there's stakes. There's actual stakes. It's part of the tournament. Title. It's a highlight on the women's division. And it's also shining a light on Jamie Hayter for
the dog. I did not realize how good she really was. Like,
yeah,
I knew she was talented, but like having that type of chemistry and that type of match with Thunder Rosa, like I'm like, damn, she can fucking go, yo.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a good way to put the spotlight on her instead of being overshadowed by Britt Baker. Right. And then, of course, any opportunity to put Thunder Rosa on Dynamite, you make magic. Thunder Rosa is one of, like, I'm telling you, if you go to an AEW show live, listen to that pop that Thunder Rosa gets. The TV just cannot convey it. The crowd loses it for her entrance. With that being said, I think that's why that should be match of the week.
Like I said, that was my number 2. The only reason why I picked Austin Theory is because Austin Theory Big E is because even though it was that shitty ass red whatever the hell the red is egg shit, but it was WWE finally putting a young guy in position. Like, yeah, we knew he wasn't going to win, but it's actually showing that they are kind of, sort of, maybe trying to create a new star. So that, and like I've been touting his praises since he debuted on NXT fucking 2 years ago. I mean, I loved him from Evolve. He did, and I've been telling people, like, once this kid really gets a chance on the mic, like he can be as good as MJF and all them. Like, he cuts a fucking promo like no other. We just haven't got a chance for him to actually do it yet. And once you do, people are going to be like, wow, where the hell did that come from? I'm like, no, he's had it. They just haven't given him a chance to actually do it.
Okay. Well, you can hang on to that. I'm going to hang on to mine. And since neither of us seem to have been swayed, I'll leave it up to the live chat. You guys go ahead. Tell us, out of our 2 picks, which you would claim is match of the week, Big E, Austin Theory, or Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. Once enough people have chimed in, I'll read it off. But, yeah.
Which, honestly, wrestling-wise, that is the best match of the week. But, like I said, I picked mine more for as kind of foreshadowing at WWE actually doing something we don't think they can fucking do, and that's put young up-and-comers in a position to be stars.
What a perfect transition to the next topic. And that is, who's WWE's next breakout star? Fantastic. Look at us, RN. Look at us. It's almost like we had a plan here. Yeah, honestly, this whole, the breakout star in my mind was going to be about Austin Theory.
Yeah.
There's something intangible about that guy.
Yes.
That looks really good. They book him well.
Mm-hmm.
They do book him very well. I feel like how he got to that match, I ain't gonna lie, was really fucking stupid. With the stupid
but that was what you gonna tell Vince? You gonna tell Vince, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. Fuck no. You take that egg, take your championship match, and go fuck about your business.
Yeah, man.
And another thing I saw with Theory, like I was watching the Ruthless Aggression shit, and they were showing like the FCW stuff and everything, like how much he looks like early John Cena down to the fucking hair. Like, go back and watch some of those early John Cena's before he started wearing Jordans.
Yeah.
Him and Theory look almost exactly the fuck alike.
No, him and Theory both have a great look. Between Theory does have like a really good, well put together package. He'll bulk up a little bit with age. You know what I mean? He'll get a little bit larger with age. By the way, it's already looking like I won the match of the week, by the way.
I'm not mad at that. I'll take that out.
Supersonic and Kyle both chimed in. Thunder Rosa.
I'll take that. I'll take that L. I'm not mad at that one.
Yeah. Kyle says, as now going back to theory, he does well the little things. He does the little things really well.
Mm-hmm.
Has natural charisma. Yeah, that's the one thing you cannot deny. That dude, you can't take your eyes off of him whenever he's on screen. I can see him having a similar trajectory as Orton. That's interesting. Yeah, man. No theory.
I don't know what his trajectory is going to be, but like since I saw this kid at 18, 19 years old at an Evolve show, literally having these people throwing their fucking $30 beers at him and shit. Like, I'm like, holy shit, who is this kid? Like, I've always believed in him wholeheartedly that once he got here, like you said, you see it. Like, whatever that it is that we always talk about, you can't quite explain it. You can't quite put your finger on it, whatever the hell it is, but you know that kid has
it. Theory has a well-developed package. Kyle from Smackdraw. Please, that is you need context for quotes like that, okay? You can't just put that shit on, man. Other breakout guys. Because look at what AEW is doing, heavily promoting what they refer to as the 4 pillars. MJF, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, and help me out here, Darby Allin.
Yeah.
I think WWE honestly should take note and shine a spotlight on a couple of their younger talent. The next name that comes to mind immediately is Humberto Carrillo.
I would say Dominic.
Dominic too. No, Dominic's there too. Carrillo, Dominic, Austin Theory. Carrillo personally, the man is, for one, he has a great mix of size and athleticism. You know, he's a little bit bigger than your typical high flyers. The dude looks like $1 million. You know, I mean,
he literally looks like a 14-year-old. Like,
that's true.
He looks like a little kid.
And now this new edge with him and Angel Garza that they have going with their tag team, it's starting to give him a little bit of edge, a little bit of grit. You know, something a little bit more tangible than that white bread baby face that we often reject in WWE. So I have huge, like, high hopes.
So who will be the 4th? Because we only named 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to pull up the roster page. Chat, help us out. Who's the next young breakout star in WWE that we can put alongside Dominic Mysterio, Austin Theory, and Humberto Carrillo? I'm going to try and pull up WWE's roster page. You know what? Actually, who comes to mind? Grayson Waller, actually, over on NXT.
But I don't count the NXT guys because, like,
Supersonic says Rhea Ripley. Good pick. JJ Red says Fatu. Oh, shit. I forgot about Fatu. But, yeah, you're trying to keep NXT out of the conversation for the moment, right? Until they make it to main roster. Okay.
Yeah.
That puts a little bit of constraints, but, yeah, I'll work with that.
I don't mind Rhea, and that's getting a woman in there. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all know what she can be, like, the potential, even though they've kind of squandered her a little bit. But the fact that she's so fucking young, or really Bianca, too. I didn't think about Bianca.
Bianca, yeah. Oh, no, Bianca. Bianca easily. Yeah, she's still
she's
really
young, because she's only like 24, 25, too, isn't she?
No, yeah, hands down. It has to be Bianca.
Yeah, it's got to be Bianca.
Yeah, okay. So there's your 4 pillars of WWE breakout stars. Austin Theory, Humberto Carrillo, Dominic Mysterio, Bianca Belair, and I guess Kyle says Shanky. Yeah, we can put Shanky in there. Why not? Shit, man. Let's head on over to Twitter, RN, and go ahead and we're going to pull up our pinned tweet of the week where we asked Twitter for their very well-reserved, well-thought-out opinions. This week's question was, is NXT dead? While I'm pulling it up, RN, what's your take on 2.0?
I'll just give mine word for word. This isn't my type of wrestling anymore. Like, this is just, I don't even want to say it's a watered down version, because, like, a lot of people jumped on me because I said I acted like the wrestling was. It's not that the wrestling is bad. It's just not up to the work rate that the Black and Gold brand presented. And a lot of that is because of the direction that this wins. A lot of these guys are young, new, not that experienced. So, of course, the work rate's not going to get there. But other than like the pacing, the feel of it, all of it, like it's just not. It's not the NXT that I grew to love. So it's just I'm holding on. I've been trying to be positive, like just some of the shit I just can't. But positive wise, I love Diamond Mine because Roderick and just everything about them gives that like team angle kind of feel that's like literally one of my favorite factions ever. So I'm into that. Of course, Carmelo and Trick. And believe it or not, all the shit I gave, actually Tony D'Angelo has fucking grown on me. Like, I fucking love it now. Like, it's so fucking dumb in like early 90s, but like I'm into it.
That's one thing I've seen people too, is they've really turned around for D'Angelo. And I'll say this.
Because he can go in the ring too.
It's weird. The show 2 weeks ago, that made me never want to watch NXT again. With the poker game
segment.
Yeah, the segments were terrible. What I got to see of this week's NXT gave me like more hope for the show. I particularly really liked the opening bit with Grayson Waller. As young as he is, being able to cut a promo while being able to name drop like The Rock, Roman Reigns, and who was the other one? The Rock, Roman Reigns, and gosh, I don't know why. Cena, that's right. And he was able to take, the crowd's booing him. Why it doesn't bother him is because they booed all those guys, and all those guys turned into superstars. And he's like, I might not be your favorite NXT wrestler, but I will be WWE superstar, or something to that degree. And
that's another thing too, like how quickly they switched him to a heel.
Yeah.
Like 1 week ago, he was a fan favorite. Now he's a heel all of a sudden. Like, I know they had to do it for the teams and shit and everything, but still, it's like, come on, bro. Like, fuck.
It was interesting. Well, let's highlight the comments, read off some people's stuff. I apologize if we didn't get to everyone. We had about almost 20 of you guys chime in, and we really appreciate it. So with that being said, Supersonic, who is in the live chat right now, at Supersonic X 1991, he says that IWC is overreacting. Yeah, I kind of agree. We do tend to overreact online. Yep. Kyle from Apron Bump, who's also in the live chat, says, I don't see many claiming it's dead. I see more positivity than negativity. I like the direction. I think they're still working out the kinks, but it's a fun show. He says the key thing is you can't compare it to Black and Gold or pre-COVID NXT. And
that's not true, though. You can't compare it.
Exactly.
The same fucking show.
it is like...
You can compare it. Like, I hate when people say that. Yes, you can. It's the same show. It literally went from being Black and Gold to this fucking Color Splash shit in a week. Like, a week. There was no lubing up and like, you know what I'm saying, gently doing the tip just for a second to see how it feels. Like, they straight fucking Ice Cube, no Vaseline into this. Like, so I don't know how anyone can say there's no, like, you can't compare. Yes, you can, when literally 7 days before it started, it was Black and Gold. The next 7 days, it was this Color Splash shit. So, yeah, you can compare.
Too Sweet Pod in the same in the live chat says the problem with WWE programming in general is nothing feels must-see anymore. There aren't a lot of stories that you feel like you have to see, and I completely agree with that, actually.
Oh, yes. Completely agree.
I honestly, off the top of my head, the only two things I want to see what's going on right now, RK Bro, Roman Reigns.
Facts.
Any other story, honestly...
I'll add Austin to that now.
Austin Theory, that's good.
Those are my two things, too, is RK Bro and Roman. That's literally it.
Vanessa from Putting You Over, which, by the way, if you guys aren't following Putting You Over or watching their live streams, check them out, man. Twitch.tv/Putting You Over. They're a great show, and they were a huge supporter of our show while we were coming up. Yep. She says, I feel like the IWC, as opposed to drastic changes, little ones here and there, is easier to tolerate. Rebranding NXT like so drastically is what's garnishing such a strong reaction. At Donald Gold KY says, I think it's like anything else in wrestling. New stuff gets shit on until it eventually gets over. There are good workers mixed with the obvious green talent. Mm-hmm. The IWC has claimed NXT is dead a few times, which they have.
Right.
And they were always overreaching. Same now. JJ says IWC is overreacting. Though this new NXT isn't for me, I won't say anything negative to stop anyone from watching and enjoying it. You can always count on JJ to be just a ray of positivity, man. I love JJ
Always.
to death. Jimmy Bebe says, I think anytime someone is changed as much as NXT has, it's going to take some time for the fans to come around to it, essentially. Yeah. He says, so no, I don't think it's dead in the water, but it's definitely on life support. I will say that I think it does deserve to be mentioned, the dwindling ratings that NXT is going through, because we can claim all the subjective stuff, whether we like it or don't like it and all this other stuff. But there is one tangible thing, and that is their ratings have been on a steady decline since they've done the rebranding. So there is that to take in factor. Kyle says, Black and Gold was just wrestling 2.0, is more reliant on vignettes, promos, and character work. Yeah, I mean, it's main roster light. Is kind of like how I have felt about it.
And the only reason why I'm not completely writing it off is because let me do the first reason. The first reason why I'm iffy about it is because they've shown that they don't really give a shit about the guys that come from NXT. And let's just be honest, the guys that made it were already stars somewhere else they were already 10, 15 years in the business. So moving up to the main roster wasn't a shock for them. They knew how to change chicken shit into chicken salad. Let's just call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then the second thing is, who is your guys? Like, because they put that so-called initiative out, but Carmelo Hayes is 5'5", and he's your fucking top guy and leader of the new school, the guy you're pushing the most out of all the new guys. So it's like where are we actually going? Or then Ciampa, still the fucking champ, when you got Braun Breaker. Literally, even I said, and I'm not even a Breaker fan, that he should have beat him at the last takeover or Halloween Havoc to win the belt, and he didn't. So it's like all these things they're saying that they're going to do, they contradict themselves on the other hand of it, back and forth. So it's like, is there really any direction here? Like,
I agree with you with the Braun Baker. I feel like they should have just torn the Band-Aid and strapped it to him and just make it happen, you know? And
you know what I think it was, though? I think it's because they knew Carmelo might outshine him. Yeah. And I think they didn't want that to happen.
Kyle keeps going on defending his point with you can't compare 2.0 and Black and Gold. The mentality behind the show is completely different. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think my argument for that, Kyle, is they should have changed the name. They should have just said, okay, you're right, NXT is over. This is our new show, and they should have changed the name more than 2.0. It's 2.0. That's my one little argument. Like, that's my one thing is like they should have. I feel like they should have just changed it. They should have retired NXT.
And they did. And the reason why I'm saying you can compare is because they did such a drastic change instantly. Like they just literally turned the book on the Black and Gold and turned into this immediately the first night out the gate. Like I'm saying, there wasn't any like lag time or any time for us to adjust to see something new. It literally went from the Black and Gold, fucking all the people we know, to the next week. Nobody we knew except for Ciampa and LA Knight, and everybody else was all new people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't any, like, grace period or whatever for the death for us for time or any time for us to mourn the Black and Gold. Like, there was no time.
Yeah. He said it's like comparing ECW to WWE ECW. Even then, WWE kept that ECW name.
And they shouldn't have.
Yeah. Oh, God, no, they should not have. All right, let's go back to some of these comments because there were a lot. I want to get as many people in as I can. At Rumi, Aki Bro, he says, NXT started going downhill a few years ago. They have not recovered from the numerous botches since 2.0 started. PWD_official says NXT is unwatchable now. The King Nakamura shows up to defend it, says, LOL, no, you're wrong. Book the World 3 says, I think a lot of people made their mind up about the show before even turning on the TV. Wrestle Chaps counters. I watched one episode, and that was enough. I like the new staging. The studio wrestling feel is cool, but it's a kid's show now. There's very little wrestling. They play poker. There's a mafia guy in the pork pie hat. It's not aimed at me, and I'm happy to be missed by it. S. Lobo says dead. And then some people kind of jumped on him. Or no. Someone else replied, dead, no, but it's worse than the pandemic era of Raw. Dang, that's a heavy blow. Rebranding
I wouldn't
takes
go that
time.
far, and I'm even shitting on it. I wouldn't go that far.
Rebranding takes time. There are a couple bright spots, but I wouldn't be shocked if the brand is gone by next year. Ouch. King Nakamura once again coming to the defense. It's not worse than the pandemic era Raw, in my opinion, but I ain't gonna say you're wrong. We all got our own takes. Too Sweet Podcast. Not at all dead. It's a good show, but I think the problem is when people compare it to NXT of old. Seems to be a reoccurring theme. Matt Ritter of Smacking It Raw says the IWC is overreacting, and thankfully I haven't seen it. Even after the rebranding, it's still my favorite show to watch every week. It isn't perfect, but they got a lot right. The wrestling is still great. Gosh, there's so many people here. Jay Kranites. I could tell you why, but might get in trouble. Look who they are pushing on one program and look who they are pushing on another. If you know, you know. Any take on that? I'm kind of lost on that one.
I have no fucking clue what he's talking about.
Okay, moving on. At Final Girl Cass, who just chimed up, she says she's new to the wrestling community, by the way, on Twitter. I told her that if she comments on this, I'd give her a shout out. Go follow at Final Girl Cass. She says, I think NXT had a few recent opportunities to step up their game, but were unsuccessful. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I don't think that's how that saying goes.
If you fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Some people are being in here sarcastic, saying the IWC never overreacts. Another one says IWC doesn't have the significance or reach to kill anything. And some people think that they do. NXT Dos Evil. NXT is a gimmick petri dish. I like that. The episodic television series aspect is a distant secondary priority. I view it as an investment in characters. It's not must see. I actually really agree with that.
Don't say that. I understand. I get that. And that's what it is now. That's what it is now. Like, and I'm okay with that. But my thing is, like I said, there was no lag time and you're still calling it NXT. Like, you should have just called it something else. Like, go back to FCW. Like, that's not a bad thing calling it FCW or whatever hell you want to call it down there.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Like, it's OVW now is what it really is.
Yeah. FCW as well. At West the Wheelman, the storylines aren't extremely compelling beyond Toxic Attraction. By the way, what do you think of Toxic Attraction? I'm
fucking into it. Mandy we've had conversations about her on SmackDown. We see something's there. Will she ever get it there? And I think she's there. In ring wise, it's still. But it just is what it is. But her character work, I believe everything she said.
I had about another 4 or 5 accounts all say kind of the same thing. Either they're saying IWC is overreacting as usual, or saying that they missed the black and gold. I want to touch on this last one. This one deserves to be on unpopular opinions. I'm not going to lie. At Hijack78 says, the IWC is kind of stupid, to be honest. They killed the old NXT and now want to be dicks to all the talent in the new NXT. It's different, but it's still good. All the new talent looks promising. Kind of hate the screen always on in the background, but that's my only real complaint. I actually reached out to him and I asked, if you don't mind me asking, how did the IWC kill the old NXT? He went on to reply, the majority of them chose overrated AEW over it. They lost the ratings war. And that's what, and that was that. Corporate decided it needed a change if it couldn't beat an indie fed. Ouch.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. That's absolutely what fucking happened.
But he says that the IWC, he says essentially Twitter killed it. You know.
Yes, no, they did. Like that was if they didn't kill, they were at least it was involuntary manslaughter. Like they were constantly no, seriously, they were constantly shitting on NXT saying too much wrestling, not enough this. It was just something all the time. This is why they can't beat AEW, blah, 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 blah. And then fucking Vince was like, see, told you wasn't gonna beat him with those indie fucks. Dead. That's literally
shit.
That's literally what fucking happened.
Damn,
Literally.
I didn't think this. I thought you were going to crap on this, dude.
No,
but now it makes sense why you
agree.
followed him. Yeah, no,
I completely agree.
That's awesome, man. That's it for the comments on this week's pinned tweet. Look out for our next one. I don't have the topic in mind yet, but if you guys have any ideas, shoot them to us. At SmackDrawPod, just DM us, and if we like it, we'll go ahead and make it our tweet of the week, where we can get Twitter involved, and on the show, of course. Let's transition to the last topic of the night, RN. This is going to be more up your alley than mine. I haven't had a real good chance to catch up on it. War Games. You said you wanted to touch on the teams, and then Bama even suggested talking about the level of hype now that it's not a takeover. First and
I think
foremost,
we should go that route and save the rest of the stuff for the teams and shit for our show on Thursday.
What show on Thursday?
Well, we're doing the before the takeover. We're saving it for that. So let's do the hype or whatever, it not being takeover anymore.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, do you think it's different now that takeover's not a thing? It's just a special episode of NXT, right?
Yeah, but like I said, it's the death of NXT. Like the Gold brand, this is the official headstone of it not being a pay-per-view. Like it just being a normal episode, which honestly, I'm not mad at those either because a lot of that shit that we think about with AEW as being pay-per-views, they really weren't. Like Fight for the Fall and all those things, those are just episodes of Dynamite with a different name on it. But we still got banging ass matches and we still got memorable moments for the company. So again, like I said, this goes on with me being kind of sick of it not being NXT, but also too, I'm all right with it because like I don't see why it's a big deal to take away from AEW. They came over with a company completely from scratch with a bunch of indie guys that WWE didn't want, and now they're the clear number 2 company and the fucking internet darling. Why not steal from them and do the things that they're doing? They showed you how to do it. They literally showed you how to start from complete scratch and make a decent company. So why not do that? Like I'm here for it. I understand it, and somebody needs to be paying attention and fucking stealing their ideas. Like why not?
Now I'll say this about the NXT is, so speaking as somebody that's not a diehard NXT fan, and I don't hate it by no means.
Right.
I loved, even before I ever watched like the weekly episodes, I made sure to tune into every takeover because I knew takeover I was gonna get banging match after banging match. Like takeovers for how many years did not miss, didn't have a single bad pay-per-view, you know. But I will say that as that casual fan that I was, and to a degree still am, I never felt inclined to tune into their special episodes. Like the Halloween Havoc, the first one, I missed it. You know, they're In Your House. I think I missed one of those as well. Like I didn't feel, I just did not feel inclined to tune in. Although In Your House was a pay-per-view, wasn't it? Never mind. I think it was. I don't think that was.
In Your House was a pay-per-view.
It was a
Great
American
American Bash.
It wasn't an episode of it.
Great American Bash is probably what you're thinking about.
Yeah, that's it. I did not tune into those. I just didn't feel inclined because I knew it wasn't a takeover. So chances are it wasn't going to be that stacked bottom to top, just 5-star after 5-star matches. Now I'm not saying that they didn't have great stuff. Hell, we had Keith Lee, win the NXT and North American Championship. You know, and I know that Halloween Havoc, I want to say, turned out a banger or so. But personally speaking, to me, it didn't feel worth tuning into. But if you attach TakeOver to the name and you threw it on a Saturday night, whether I was watching and up to date with NXT or not, I was guaranteed to sit through that motherfucker from beginning to end. You know,
and my thing is too, like with those, like even if it's not a pay-per-view, do those Saturday specials like that. Those are the best times for me because like I'm pre-gaming before I'm going out. If we're going out for the evening, or if I got the kids and I'm staying in, like I can stay up late. I'm getting fucking hammered drunk. I'm tweeting the whole fucking time. Like it's hard to do that on a Sunday night when you got to go to work the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like those Saturday things, like I think they should go back to doing those. Like I think that they meant a lot more, and I have a hell of a lot more time remembering those than I did any Sunday night pay-per-view I stayed up for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So with that being said, I do feel that this War Games is, I don't know why, and I mean I kind of do know why, but I'm just not fully into it. Now I'm gonna tune in because it is War Games, and they do make it a lot of fun.
Right.
It is kind of a weird dynamic to have Breaker on a team full of heels while he's a face, and then I want to say, who's the heel that's on the old team that's with a bunch of faces? Pete Dunne. Okay.
Who's been a heel his entire time in the fucking company?
Yeah.
What's that when he was with fucking Riddle, but he was even still kind of heelish then too.
But yeah, obviously, it's this time around. It's not about heels versus faces. It's the old NXT versus the new NXT.
But that's the thing with that argument. That's not true because they just turned Grayson Waller fucking heel for no reason.
But you have Braun Breaker on that team, and he's clearly a face.
I know, and so is Grayson Waller until this week.
Whose team is Grayson on?
He's on the new team with Braun. It's
so like I said, Braun's the only face on a team of heels.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna go there, you didn't have to change Waller or anybody. Like it was.
Oh, that's true.
Need.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're gonna have Breaker, your top baby face leading, like you didn't have to make him a heel. You could have made it just like new school versus old school. It didn't have to be that way. Like.
Yeah.
Like literally, Grayson Waller, they just turned him heel this fucking week. That promo made him a heel. Like he hosted Halloween Havoc and everything. Like,
Too Sweet asks, how is Eli Drake considered old school? I think he's just considered old.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, maybe not old school black and gold NXT, but just older wrestler. Because what I mean is the direction. Yeah, the whole 25 or younger direction that they're taking. But yeah. All right, man. That's our show. Man. I hope y'all like it. I hope you guys like this new format that RN and I have adopted in our evolving on a week-to-week basis. If you guys have any suggestions, man, please don't hesitate. Reach out to us. Let us know what you guys would like to watch. We're definitely cultivating this for the listeners, and also so that we can stay passionate in a time when the opinion on a lot of wrestling is actually pretty jaded. And like, if you guys haven't already, please follow us on Twitch, man. Let us hit that 100. If you haven't heard, I'm desperate, man. I want our 100th follower. I'm surprised we didn't get it tonight. Really thought Supersonic was it, man. But yeah, man, you guys are the best. Follow us on Twitter. Myself at the Kai Tai Show, the show at Smack Pod, and what's your Twitter, RM?
Mr. 8984.
Yeah, man. Make sure to give us a follow, and yeah. But hopefully Sunday is permanent home. We can stay on Sundays, and not have to shoot in the middle of the day on Mondays anymore.
All right.
Yes, sir. But like always, you guys. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
See y'all next week.